Ready?
Ready.
Awesome. Hello and welcome into the Ohio Varsity Tip-Off Classic. Steubenville Central Catholic will be playing against Mayfield today for our first game, and that begins in just 14 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm John Kosis, joined with, Haley Adams. Haley, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thanks. We've got a really big matchup today for a number of reasons. It's not your typical matchup. You've got Mayfield and you've got Steubenville, a team in Northeast Ohio and a team all the way in Southeast Ohio. About a 2-hour drive separates these two schools. However, the two coaches share a very special relationship.
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit earlier. These two sisters are brothers and sister. So this should be an interesting matchup here as we get started here in under 13 minutes.
So we've got 13 minutes left just before the game starts, but we'll talk with both the coaches between these teams. Before we do that, let's talk a little bit about where these teams are coming from. We're starting off the 2018-2019 season, but last year Mayfield and Steubenville Central Catholic had two very different seasons. Mayfield was 9-14 last year overall. However, they finished 7-7 in the Western Reserve Conference. And then, of course, you had Central Catholic, and they ended up finishing 18-6 last year. They'll be returning 3 starters. So now we're going to welcome in the head coach for Steubenville Central Catholic. It's Jess Lumen. Jess, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How big is this game for you? Obviously, you played against Mayfield and your brother Ryan last year, but what does it mean to get to do that for another year?
Well, it's fun. I mean, we have all of our family here, and the girls are really excited as well. We went up to Mayfield mid-season last year, so it's kind of cool to be here at the tournament and open up our season with Mayfield.
Yeah, and last year, your team finished 18-6 overall, had a heck of a season. What are you looking at building with a couple of key seniors returning?
Yeah, we have small numbers this year, but we do have 3 returning starters, probably a handful of returning lettermen as well. So even though we're small, these girls work hard, so I expect to see some good things from this year. They play hard, they work together, so we should be okay.
All right, and one last question before I let you go. You grew up with your brother, obviously. You guys played basketball. You're coaching against each other. What are you looking for specifically from his coaching style to kind of play against?
Well, we know coming in that they were ready for us. I know that they don't think they should have beat us we should have beat them last year. So I know they're going to come in, play hard. He's going to run probably the whole game, use his size, use his speed. So I think we're prepared for what I think that he's going to come out with, but it should be interesting, so we'll see.
All right, thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Once again, that was Jess Lumen, the head coach for Steubenville Central Catholic. And just in a few minutes, we're going to have head coach Ryan Lumen out of Mayfield. Again, her brother. So this is the sibling rivalry game between Steubenville Central Catholic and Mayfield. Again, just really cool. You don't really get this type of atmosphere between coaches often, let alone from two schools so far apart.
Yeah, it should be interesting. It should be fun to see here. A little bit of competition, not just from the girls, but from the coaches as well.
When you're looking at what Mayfield did last year in the conference, they really kind of shook things up. And I think Coach Ryan Lumen is going to try and build off what they did last year.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about how tough this Western Reserve Conference is. So it should be exciting to see some of these returners build from a great season last year.
All right, so now we're going to get ready to talk to Coach Lumen, this time out of Mayfield. and see what he's going to do to plan to coach against his sister. Again, a second straight year that these two teams are playing against each other. And here he is, Coach Ryan Lumen. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. So last year, you guys played against each other for the first time.
Correct.
And you guys came up on the short end of the stick. What are you guys going to try and do this year so that way you can tie up the sibling rivalry?
I'll tell you what, I thought we had a good game plan last year. At the end of the day, in the second half, we went 3 of 30 from the field. So I don't care who you're playing. If you don't make shots, it's going to be a hard time for you. This year, we're relying on our athleticism. We have some experience at our guard and forward spots, but we're young behind that. So, mixing up our looks, trying to keep things simple offensively, and just really pushing the tempo. That's really our goal.
And you grew up with your sister, obviously. You've played basketball with her. You've coached against her now. What are you going to try and counter from her specific coaching strategy since you kind of have that inside knowledge?
Right. Well, I don't know how much inside knowledge. She didn't really share much. But, just from knowing they're tough, they're hard-nosed, they get every 50-50 ball that's out there. So for us, it's really how do we adapt to how hard they're going to play. If we can match that, we'll be all right. We know that they don't have a ton of depth, so trying to use the athleticism that we have and really push the tempo. So that's kind of it. But she does a good job. And for the program she's built, they get after it.
All right, what does this game mean to you specifically?
I like to say it means a lot, but at the end of the day, this is 1 of 22, 21. For us, we want to start off on the right foot. And, win or lose, this is a great competition. It's a great event. But, we want to build towards something bigger. And, yeah, it'd be great to be 1-0 and get a win over them. But if we're 0-1, we got to come back on Monday and get ready to go and prepare for our next game.
All right, Coach, and one last question before I let you go. You have a couple of good returning players. You've got Kinsel, you've got Rock.
Yep.
Who are you looking for to make an impact off the bench?
Well, we really have 3 kids that we're relying on. Hannah Peterson's a freshman. She's actually going to start for us today.
Awesome.
So that puts Peyton O'Neill, who was looking like our starter, coming off the bench. She's got good size. Lily Edwards is a really versatile guard forward who can play multiple spots for us. And then Reagan Sovchin is a sophomore, and that's someone who we're really looking forward to kind of come in and give us big minutes.
All right, thank you very much, and good luck today.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you. Once again, that was head coach Ryan Lumen. That's Mayfield's head coach. Steubenville's head coach Jess Lumen had talked to us just before that. So Haley, we've listened to both Mayfield's head coach and Steubenville Central Catholic's head coach, and kind of what we've gotten out of it is, yeah, it's a big game. It means a lot to them. But it's 1 of 22, and this is the start of the season. You played high school basketball. You played at this level. How big is it just mentally to be 1-0 as opposed to 0-1?
Yeah, you definitely want to get off to a good start and an exciting start to build from that throughout this season, as basketball is a very long season. And I've been on both ends of a winning season and a losing season, so it definitely makes the season more exciting if you can jump out and get this win week 1.
When you're looking at the grind of the high school season, right? It's not so much like college where you're playing 3, sometimes 4 games in a week, or you're playing these different competitions where you have a tournament over a weekend and you have to play multiple times. But it is a long season, one of the longer athletic seasons that you have to deal with. Do you think coming into this game, the conditioning plays more of a factor than, say, a March or a February game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think definitely, you grind throughout beginning of fall seasons if you don't play a fall sport. So I definitely think jumping out and having this energy and excitement can definitely play a big role in the way these teams condition. And like you said, once you get towards February and March, it does become a little harder because so many girls are now getting a little tired. You may fall into an injury or two. So that definitely plays a factor and a role in this season.
When you look at both of these teams, first Mayfield, again, 14 last